Alright, time for a Diana game. I will be... Okay, don't have my chat on, fair enough, whatever. I'll be playing against a Xin here. They have 2 smites. That's interesting. Okay. I'm playing against a Xin, I think, with maybe some interference from Yone. I think he made a mistake, most likely, but that's okay. I'm going to be starting topside, because I don't want to clear towards an Alawi. It's pretty tough to gank that lane at all times, essentially, so I really don't want to. So I'm just going to clear down. I might have some opportunities to gank, but you can pick either side to start with, completely fine. I'd hope the Brand helps me with this. Brand actually has a tremendous amount of damage to that camp, so if he just does like 2 skills, or like even 1 skill, it's already a lot of damage. So that's fine. Now this is going to be a low beginners video. So you are aware, I will be showing you exactly how to play Diana. I'll explain as much as I can from her kit in as much detail as possible, as well as the choices made. There will be an in-depth build explanation over on Patreon. I will talk through the build I'll be using in this video, but Diana has a lot of options, so keep that in mind, I suppose. I will be explaining everything there. And yeah, pretty nice leash, not too bad. Probably a little bit too much even, but you know, we take those. When it comes to clearing with Diana, try to use your skills separately to the point where you can get enough use out of your passive. You basically want to use 3 hits, 3 auto attacks into a new skill, and then with 3 hits again. It's kind of the timing, it lines up like that. If you have more attack speed in your kit, you might be able to get the 4th hit in, but generally 3. Or if you use it from a distance, you might get 2 instead of 3, as you can see right there. You need to be melee range for it to be 3. Try to also start the camp by using your Q and then using your W after, because your Q has a lower cooldown, which means that you have more passive uptime because of that. And this is mostly important until you hit level 3, because after level 3 you can just use your E for a bunch of it. I didn't hit the big one with that one, but always try to dash with your E towards the target that you actually hit with your Q, because you see this Moonlight proc here. If you hit a target with E with that proc on it, your E will get fully refreshed in cooldown, so that is something to keep in mind. Starting out there, we just start out with Q and then auto attack like a couple times into an E, and then again Q, keep auto attacking. And as you can see, I am holding up my passive as much as possible. Generally it's 2 hits after a Q to get your E off, otherwise you might be too late and put your E on a full cooldown, which is not great. Wow, top lane's gotten the solo kill and mid lane has gotten the solo kill. He started with a jungle item on Yone as well. I mean, it's low elo. The problem here is like if you go jungle item on a laner, you're gonna get significantly less value, because he's gonna lose out now on like minion like gold a lot, XP as well, I believe. So that one's gonna be rough for that Yone, really. That's pretty much already a lost lane. Okay, these 2 are pushing in, so you know I have some downtime where I can quickly just run in here and see what's up. Just walk in. Don't use your skills too early. Pick a target. Can I get some engagement here from my... I clicked my E on the wrong target. That is not ideal. Okay, I see. I tried to walk into melee range as much as possible first. There is a Xin, which I have to respect. I think I just shoved the wave, because otherwise they are kind of doomed anyway. I think if my Rakan isn't completely AFK, I should be fine here, but apparently he was. So, yeah, okay. I really wanted to shove the wave so it actually would hit the turret. If my Rakan would have walked up slightly, that would not have been a problem, and he would have been able to easily avoid Xin from even damaging me at all, I think. But I was not able to make that happen, unfortunately, the way I would have liked, at least for them. Initially here, we're gonna go Nashor's first. You also have a variation of this build where you go Lichbane first. This highly depends on the enemy team. In this case, the enemy team is actually relatively tanky, relatively sustain heavy. You know, there is a lot more durability in these fights. So I will go Nashor's into Riftmaker as a setup right now. But if you are facing more squishy stuff, you can go... Yeah, look, this is the problem, right? He has this Scorch Pup thing, and it's gonna look entirely for the rest of this game basically reduce his XP. which means he is currently level 3 against level 5, even though he has more CS. The fact that he like has smite is okay in a sense, but you cannot be building your jungle item, which he is just gonna feel that for the rest of this entire game. I feel kind of bad for the guy. Like, unless he did this intentionally, then I don't feel bad for him at all, but, you know, I don't think he did. And now here, with the smite, you just want to use the smite as late as possible. So currently I do not see the Xin trying to fight me on this, so I'm gonna use my smite on the last one. If you have 2 smites, you can use it on the first one and the last one, but I didn't have 2 smites in time, I don't think, in that instance. Maybe I did, but even then, just holding it for the last one, if you know you're relatively safe for the rest of it, is fine. And then by this time, we simply just go back towards clearing more camps, because everything is up. You see the Xin there as well, so we might be able to do like a dragon here relatively soon too. Potentially. Low HP Xin. Okay. I also have Bolt Prow. I think smiting my wolves just now was a stupid mistake. I just didn't think about it. I'll send the dragon anyway. There is a little bit of a corner here where it was exactly. I don't remember it. There it is. Perfect. Oh, this is definitely not ideal. I mean, if my bot lane doesn't react to this, that is extremely sad. Okay, actually, well, stood in my queue, I guess. Okay, sure. Okay, yeah. I get dragon here. I don't have smite, but I don't think Xin's gonna come over the wall and steal it. This smite thing is my problem, obviously, because I smited the wolves for no reason. She takes the last hit, lovely. He's level 4. This guy should be level 6 by now, but he's just not because he took the jungle item. That's bad for him for sure. That's not a very good use of a plant. Oh, he's actually in there too. Okay. He's already dead, so. Okay then. Right, we'll be spawning in 20 seconds. There is a ward here. I already know there is, like, right here. So they know I'm doing that. See? He threw that straight on target. Wonder how he managed that one. We're just gonna take the red buff as it spawns. And at that point, I can't back for it yet. That's unfortunate. It's really sad, actually, because, I mean, they're just losing. And they can't win because their mid laner decided... Oh, he sold his jungle item, actually. Big. Big, big, big. He might actually get some XP now. He should be catching up in level pretty quickly. I think he realized what was going on. That's good. He is adapting. He's learning. See if he queues the minions. Nope, he queued backwards. Okay. What you can do here is I could just queue like this. Close the distance. Close the distance. Again on him with the other E. He's gonna go backwards. And then wait for it and finish him with another E. So I could just Q to a minion or QE to a minion, so I get the E refresh, and I also hit him with the moonlight, so I get another dash. That only happens, by the way that dash sequence happens. Usually it insta removes, but because I eat before the Q landed, it still refreshes it, and then the Q goes on the other target still, which means that I get a dash towards the Yone afterwards, if that makes sense. So I get 2 dashes off of 1 Q because I threw my E right before my Q would even land. And because my Q then lands on the target, the E will still refresh. If my Q would have missed, my E would have been on full cooldown, but it doesn't miss on a minion, so it was a safe bet. But it also hit the Yone at the same time in this instance, so your E will then, like, you see right here, you see what I just did? The same concept as just there, because usually, if you E a target that is moonlight procced, it will instantly remove the moonlights in general, which I will show you on this camp, I suppose. It is a bit of a Diana trick that not a lot of people realize, I think. Because right here, I E, and all of my moonlight procs disappear. Did you see that? But if I QE, it doesn't. I'm trolling a little bit. If I like Q and then before my Q even lands, then E, then the E remains, so I'll have another dash, but my E still goes off cooldown. This can be used in a multitude of ways, but one of them is what I just did against that guy, right? I dashed to the minion and I dashed to him without having to use my Q again. And then I can use the next Q to dash to him again. It's just a very, very strong mobility skill. Smite the first one, because I have 2 smites.
An enemy has been slain.
There he is. And now, because I saved my smites, I will actually be able to smite this one still. And otherwise, I wouldn't have done that. I would not have been able to do that. And now he's dead. So that's why you, like I said, saved my smite. If I wouldn't have had the smite, I would have... I could just fight this guy, I believe. Actually, I may be wrong. I have Conqueror stacked up, so I just send it. QE first and then WE afterwards in melee range. This way I would proc all my orbs. Have my Conqueror stacked up, so it would be difficult for him to fight me there anyway. He's also down in experience because of what he did, obviously, which is not good for him, but... She is low, so I'll just go finish the guy off. Nice and easy. Right. She's just in here, that's fine. Do the entire bush, and then close the distance, and then we E onto her, and then W and E instantly once again, but obviously she died to the W. So it didn't matter afterwards to E. Let's finish this thing off. I suppose I might as well hit the turret. Try to use your skills here to get your passive to give you more attack speed, so you can hit the turret more frequently for a lot more damage. You can see I'm just using my skills constantly to get myself attack speed. And the void grubs are just gonna essentially delete the turret off the map. Big money. Dragon's gonna spawn in 10 seconds. I have 4.5k gold. She's gonna stop me from recalling. That's unfortunate. So I'm actually delayed towards this dragon now. Alright, let's buy the Nashers. We'll buy the Rift Maker. Can I afford that? Might be able to actually afford that. I cannot afford that. That's unfortunate. Let's buy this then. And another one of those. Perfect. Again, Bruisery team. We go for the Rift Maker here. After the Nasher still. Squishy team, you could just go like Lichbane, Zonia's Death Cap, something like that is a very good combination for those. Very aggressive from their bot lane. Pull him back towards me. This situation, if you're gonna chase somebody there, it's important that I use my, like, don't use my E just randomly. I always want to try to QE, 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 so I can run after him for as long as possible. This is especially important against more tanky champions, because the tankier a champion is, the slower he will die, and the more that will be required. The Swain is relatively tanky, so I can have to respect that. Their botman is actually quite fed, I will have to say. Their Swain is quite strong. Get this dragon down. Let's wait for the Scuttle to spawn, and then we can clear towards topside, towards this Rift Herald spawn. Just have a nice, good sequence going up this way. And keeping the good tempo in our camps. There's the Vayne. I'm gonna get collapsed by too many people, so I'm gonna have to be respectful here. I'm gonna flash, it's fine. That is too many people, I cannot disrespect too hard. Okay. Simply there, I QE. And then she knocked me back, but I already got the E reset right, so QE in melee range, and then you can just WE to a target to finish him off. Because, yeah, she was low enough, and I do enough damage for that to be fine. Interesting how she, like, chased that, really. Alright, finish off this sequence, these 3 camps into this Rift Herald like we wanted to, right? Keeping nice pacing here. There, as you can see, like, I eat slightly earlier, and the Moonlight hit the small wolf there at the end later. So it still applied the Moonlight stack. Okay. Do this, and we're just simply gonna go for the Rift Herald now. Keeping good pacing. Spread out your abilities here. And just keep up your passive as much as you can. Go smite that one out. Pick it up. And this guy's playing pretty aggressive. We see Xin here as well. We see him with blue, so this topside camps are most likely up.
An enemy has been slain.
Melee range. Wait until he knocks me back, and then we dash to him twice and keep auto-attacking him there. Because he already flashed and he already ulted, so he has nowhere to go. Now, ideally, you want to use the Herald for this turret or this turret. And I believe in this case, obviously, we have the top turret as our option. So we're going to use it on top here to get 700 gold from it. Let's put the Herald down. Click it, and then direct it slowly. Don't click too much, just slow clicks. I didn't think that was gonna kill, but I mean, my thing would definitely kill, but I didn't think the brand thing was gonna kill, if that makes sense. Whoa, that's a bit too much damage. I took 2 turret hits there, I believe, stupidly. 360 turret damage, yeah. Not good. I have a lot of money too, so it's pretty greedy on my end regardless. Alright, let's go for the Zonias next. I'll take all the AP I can get. Let's do it like this. Solid, we have the combination of Nash's Riftmaker. This is very sustain heavy damage. So very like over time damage instead of burst. And against this team that will be good. It's gonna go Zonias next to have defensive options. Zonias is just very, very good on Diana. Now we note here that the dragon is going to spawn in 1 minute 40. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start up here and clear down towards the dragon. So we have a good sequence of our camps and we have an objective to play towards. So that is what we're looking for. Alright. I do a big damage. Big damage. Gonna move down here.
Shut down.
Ooh, spicy. Team fights are being lost. I mean, I made a mistake as well. I died to top lane to Swain for 1,000 gold. So that's definitely bad. Swain is probably the best one for like them to get that shut down too. Because he is quite a scary champion, honestly. Oh, okay. Maybe that dude's dead. E right before again. Finish him off. Making sure not to put my E on cooldown here so I can do this. And close the distance on him twice. And then when he is low HP, I can put the other E on cooldown at the end there to close distance again. And to get damage on him. Dragon in 10, 15 seconds. Let's see if some of his camps are here. While I wait. Alright, just anything I can take in the meantime, I'll do that. Again here, making sure to keep your passive up as much as possible. Try to separate your abilities enough for that to work. I'll smite it. It's fine. Quite a large amount of money. I'll be able to buy my Zonias on the next back, which is nice. See some situations here as well. I might be able to get the Vayne. Walk with a sweeping trinket. If she recalls in a bad spot, if she does, she's dead. She did. She is dead. We just flash E for it. That's fine. That's a kill. He's walking from behind on Swain. I've actually finished the turret. This thing is worth 700 gold. We split it between 2 of us. Still very good. Okay, finish him off. And as Diana, all I really have to do now is just hit the turret. I will do a tremendous amount of turret damage here. 2. And there he goes. So what I do there is I line it up my Q and E. So I QE him, so I get the instant cooldown refresh, right? Oh, by the way, here you have to stand against the inhibitor to be able to land your passive hit there. If you don't press your face into it, your passive hit's not going to land. And you're going to do a lot less damage to the inhibitor. Finish him off there with a combo, like you can E-execute on low HP. I took too much turret damage there, that's my bad. But yeah, that's fine. I like to execute somebody, you simply just go Q you land it, you W, or you E towards them, and then you can WE through them in melee range to block everything. Or you can press your W earlier, right? You can Q WE towards the target and then straight up E through it right after to execute if he becomes low enough HP. That is okay. Get the Zonias first, and we'll get the Death Cap afterwards. And simply to finish the build in this scenario, we would go Void Staff for this build option specifically. We have 17 kills and 189 CS, so I mean, we're obviously looking very strong. A lot of this has been due to me, obviously just consistently getting pathing here. Like here, once again, I'll be going towards my bot side first. I still have 2 people dead, so playing forward or playing aggressive is not really going to be the option here. We don't want to go for any type of fights because we are 3v5, so I don't want to do that. And the objective that is currently on the map is Baron, so I want to clear and play towards that Baron. So that's why I'm starting bot side, and I'm going to just clean up, wait for my team to respawn, which obviously my teammates didn't, and then we can play from there. Okay, this guy is just dead. That was an option where I could just get the E on the guy and get the engage. In this situation, just going for Baron will definitely be the move. Oh, they are chasing that. Okay, that's maybe a little bit blind on my end. My top side is pretty much defended. This guy's top side should be up, and he realizes that, so I think he's just gonna like face check me here in a second. Oh, this is warded. Lovely. Then he does obviously not gonna face check me. I think his red could be up though. It's not. Fair enough. Make sure to take this from him. Deny everything. Oh. That kind of... He definitely left. Fair enough. I'll just use the portal and go towards my own side now. Again, kind of waiting for my team to respawn. We can definitely look for a Baron as well. I'll go pick up the blue real quick, and then we can just look for the Baron if my team wants to actually follow that. That could be nice. Pretty sure I can tank this, because I am just like really, really strong right now. Usually I'm doing 50% less damage to Baron because I am tanking the Baron. That's the debuff. This debuff right here. There you go. Get the Baron. We reset right now because I can afford a death cap, which is going to up my AP from 549 to that. And then I'll build the Blighted Jewel for the extra magic penetration as well. Going into the dragon spawn here in 50 seconds to keep rotating and cycling through objectives. Making sure to pick up as much as possible. Team seems to be winning that fight. We're just gonna take this portal over here so I can close the most distance. I think Sin's gonna be walking into me. Oh, well, that's really annoying actually. The fact that he stunned him made me miss my thing essentially. Kind of annoying. If he didn't stun him there, I would have actually just landed it and it would have been free. But he stunned him, so you know. And then he spam pings me for some reason. Don't know why that one is necessary, but sure. Yone is going to be bot side. We're just going to walk for him. Finish him off. I mean, they can't do anything. I'm just going to kill them. I don't really want to be diving double turrets against the Swain. That feels like a death sentence to me. Finish him off as well. Press your face into it. As you can see there, I hit my passive. If I don't press my face into it, I would have hit for 600 instead of 1600. Can I move today, please? Thank you. Stacked on top of me, which gave my ult more damage. And then we simply just have to finish the game. There you go. Last item would have been Void Staff. And that is it for Diana. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to like button below. And I will see you guys in the endgame stats. Alright, time for the endgame stats here. I ended up doing 32k damage, which is the most. Brand and Azir did a good amount as well. I mean, all of these, like honestly, both Brand and Azir scale really well damage-wise, so makes sense, really. It's fair enough. I did a good amount too. We have true damage here at 1000, objective damage at 80.6k, which is a tremendous amount of objective damage. This obviously did mean that this is a bit lower because of it, Because if I didn't have that objective damage, I could have had like maybe 50k damage done or something, right? But I have 80.5k objective damage and all the void grubs, dragons, etc. Which is just important. Like playing consistently, playing for objectives is always strong, always good, and it's going to give the most results in most games. And just randomly going for fights over and over again and maybe winning games, but also like more flipping them, because if you lose a fight and lose the objective, it's worse, right? But yeah, consistent objective play, 80.6k objective damage, which is colossal. Turret damage is also like relatively high here from Diana. Healing done at 12.3. Damage taken at 22.2, which is the most. We should always also have the most of this. Self-mitigated at 31.2. A lot of this is from your shield, right? From your W. Gold earned at 17.4k. So I had like 6 or 7k more gold than the rest of the game. And this is due to, again, just smart, consistent pathing. That's all I was really doing. Just like consistently clearing my camps and just getting the money, playing for those side turrets as well, getting 700 gold of those, using the Rift Herald effectively if I go for it and all that type of stuff. Just all it is consistency, all it is pathing, and kills will fall into your lap eventually, basically. So, you know. Runes-wise, Conqueror healed me for 726, but the adaptive damage here is way more relevant, and this is also why, I mean, obviously I went for Nashor's Riftmaker here, but if I'm going for a more burst-orientated build, instead of going Electrocute, I would still go Conqueror, because Conqueror is just a better fight rune throughout most of the early and early mid game. For Diana anyway, it's going to be like really good as well later on, especially if you're going for a build like this. But like later on, if you're going full burst Diana, then it's less valuable, because obviously like you're bursting people out completely, and that leaves less time for Conqueror to be stacked, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's a bit of a trade-off there, but it still gives a better early game than Electrocute does these days, because it's kind of nerfed too hard damage-wise, and Conqueror isn't really, so yeah. Triumph for 1500 HP extra gold, Tenacity CC reduction, Last Stand for more damage in closer fights. This is also to impact the early game more so. Now yes, could you take Coup de Grace? Absolutely. And do more damage with it? Absolutely. But I'd rather have 328 extra damage when I'm below 60% HP, so the closer fights I'd actually win. So I can snowball better through the early game with like Conqueror stacks and everything, and just have a better time there in general. Absolute Focus, extra AP, and Gathering Storm is just extra AP. I like this as the like secondary options the most, really. So yeah, that is really it for Diana. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to like button below, and I will see you guys tomorrow with the next video. Bye.